Hello, everybody, my dear students. As you know, now the online classes of semester 2 has been over. The instruction that we the teachers have received from the college and the university is that in place of semester 2, now the semester 3 classes of semester 3 will start, and hence I have taken the initiative and asked my one of your batchmates to form the same group rather, that was going on in the name of semester 2. Now that will act as, or that will be known as semester 3 online classes too. You are also instructed to add yourself in the same group so that you take the maximum help of these online classes. And there is one more information that this time I have rather made a lesson plan for your online classes for this month, May 2020, and I have picked up one or two chapters from each of the paper, that is 301, 302 and 303. In this course, today I am to start the topic Thomas Gray as a poet. There is one very interesting poem of Gray in your syllabus, Ode on the Death of a Favorite Cat. So before we come to this poem, it becomes proper, mandatory rather, to deal about the poet. Moreover, this is the first class, this is the introduction class rather. So I have tried to make it not so lengthy. That's why I will conclude this class just giving you a short introduction of Thomas Gray and his poetic achievements. And from the next class we shall come to the poem. As you know, Thomas Gray, Collins, Burns, Cowper, Blake, and a few more, they are collectively known as the precursors of Romanticism. All of you are aware of the age of Romanticism, the age of Wordsworth, that is. Wordsworth is the pioneer of Romantic poetry, Romanticism. Before the emergence of Wordsworth, before the beginning of Romantic era, almost a period of 40 or 50 years, in other words, the second half of the same era, that is known as precursors of Romanticism. Precursors of Romanticism. It was a forecast of a new type of poetry that was to start and that became fully grown with the coming of William Wordsworth. I told you there were a number of poets: Cowper, Burns, Blake, Gray, and a few more. Among them, Gray is a very remarkable name. One of the precursors of Romanticism, noted for his elegies. You know elegies? Elegy, what is an elegy? Elegy is a morning poem. Mourning, morning poem. A poem of lamentation that laments over the death of someone, something. In Hindi, Sokit. So Thomas Gray is very much famous for his excellent elegies. The poem that has been prescribed, Ode on the Death of a Favorite Cat, that is also a shoe for elegy. So Thomas Gray was, unlike the most poets, he was essentially a serious scholar. His name is quite notable in the history of English poetry, particularly of the 18th century. His poetical contributions are no doubt rather limited, as he wrote only a few poems, including Ode on a Distant Prospect of Eton College, Ode on the Death of a Favorite Cat that has been incorporated in your syllabus, Elegy written in a country churchyard, The Progress of Poesy, and The Bard. Of course, he has the volume of his poetry is not so enormous, yet the quality, the impact, the impression that he and his poetry makes on the readers, that is vigorous and enormous both. So, we can say, despite the paucity of his poetic production, he is noteworthy. His conspicuous role in the march of English poetry, in the development of English poetry towards Romanticism. He is one of those few poets who anticipated the dawn of Romanticism in English poetry amid the prosaic and rationalized environment of 18th century. Gray's poetry, of course, has nothing of Elizabethan sparkle or grandeur. Rather, it has a turn to the simple theme and the human understanding of life. His verses, lyrical in forms, refined in style, and sonorous in expression, present such simple themes that strike at once the innermost core of a thoughtful heart and make one aware of the deep tragedy of a world where success is rare to many. His reflection in the elegy has a universal significance. Gray, of course, is essentially a classicist. And in two of his ambitious poems, The Progress of Poesy and The Bard, he is found to acclimatize the Pindaric form in the English ode. This experiment with the classical ode is no doubt a noble enterprise and a kind of innovation in the English ode. Gray is a true poet with artistic visions and philosophic thoughts. He belongs, unfortunately, to an age of prose, but his attempt to break through the bounds of the prevailing patterns of poetry is distinctly. The artificiality of his age, however, seems to have affected him with artificiality in the use of diction, and this has spoiled much of his romantic sensibility and reflective temper. In the opinion of Matthew Arnold, Gray was a born poet who fell upon an age of prose. He fell upon an age whose task was such as to call forth in general man's power of understanding, wit, and cleverness rather than their deepest powers of mind and soul. Based on this, it becomes clear that to judge Gray on the basis of the number of the uh, literary poetic creations that he had made would not be a judicious one. He must be judged not on the basis of the quality or the quantity of the number of the poems that he has written. Rather, he must be judged on the qualities of his verses that he has brought before the English readers, before the readers. Definitely, Thomas Gray remains to be one of the celebrated poets of the pre-Romantic era. This is over for today. We shall discuss the poem prescribed in the syllabus in the next class. Thank you.